Hello, my name is Christopher Dragon, and welcome to Dragon's Game. And I know it's been a while since I did one of these videos, but I've had a lot to sort out, and I wanted to start properly after the lockdown, which is going to be coming soon. But until then, I thought, well, let's do a mini video. Because what I'm going to be basically talking about today is about retro consoles, more looking after them. You see, I'm going to give you an example of a retro console that has been actually looked after. And then I'm going to give you an example of one that I found in a house clearance, a friend's house clearance. He didn't even know it was there because it was there from the people beforehand, of a I think it's 40-year-old computer that unfortunately has been through the wars. So, shall we start? Now, what do your eyes see before you but a case? The one thing about it is it's got my retro console in here, and this is I'm guessing is an official case for the actual system that I've got. One thing about these cases is they are protected it from dust, things as dust, insects, and sun exposure. Sun exposure can be completely devastating to a console because it causes the plastic to expand. And what is in the case? Let's have a look. It is an original Mega Drive with all the gubbins plus 2 games. Now, I got this recently. I did have it when I was a young boy, but I'm not going to go into personal details, but it was lost. But this is the original gubbins, and this has been proven that there is definitely being looked after. There's no very for this. If you want to take a closer look, I'm going to have to move the microphone so you can still talk. You can see there's very little in the way of marks, scuffs, and everything else. I've actually recently cleaned this. On the bottom, there's no signs of dust, wear, or tear in the console. The ports are absolutely spotless. And inside is the disk drive, which never do this prop. Be careful when doing this, but inside is quite clean. This is how a console is supposed to be looked after. I am not going to be getting into this case because this case is starting to warp and everything else, so I don't really want to keep it as. I'm going to get a proper case for it. Wires on this. I just try to keep the wires all compact on this using a simple elastic band. It always works. But the power pack there. This is the AV cable of this. It all works. Absolutely brilliant console. And we've got 2 official Mega Drive controllers. Absolutely brilliant. Now, this probably goes for anything between £200 and £300 these days. So it's pretty good, decent console, and I am putting it into storage. Most likely going to take it out of storage when I buy the new case. Plus, sorry about that. That's just scraping on my thing there. We have 2 games. Original Sonic the Hedgehog. Yes, I love Sonic the Hedgehog. Like I said, due to personal reasons, I lost my full Sonic the Hedgehog collection. And I've got this. It's a retro game, so I'm not going to scoff at a retro game, even though it's football, and I'm not one for football. Now, this is how a console should be looked after. Kept in case, kept into darkness, no dust, no insects that can crawl inside consoles. This is how it's supposed to be done. And now, unfortunately, let's show you. Oh, let's show you the other console. Okay, it's time for the next one. It's not a console, it's a home computer this time. I know you can only see my hands. Hello, hello, hello. But it's because it saves time me focusing down on this. Right, that was an example of a good computer being looked after. And then what I'm going to show you is an Amstrad CPC 646. And unfortunately, it has been through the walls. Oh. Oh. And here it is. Oh. It has been through the walls. Now this is going to be transport. I was going to take this apart because it looks like the whole motherboard on the inside is intact. Some parts can be salvaged, the keys for this. I was going to take this apart, but unfortunately, but I would say fortunately, there is a man, an Irish man who now lives in Sweden, who wants to attempt to restore this. So I'm going to be sending this to him, and I do hope that he can actually restore it. Okay then. So shall we have a closer look at it? Let me move my things. So as you can see, keys are completely snapped off onto it. Completely and utterly snapped off. There's also the fact that more damage is the tape deck. Now if you see the tape deck, the buttons here, which is normally for play and record, are completely snapped off. You can see it's red there. That was the record button here. Right. Also, now the tape deck, although the damage in this, does look sort of intact. I'm not sure if I can get into the camera view, but it does look sort of intact here. But unfortunately, this. Now, some people who don't understand what this is. I'm guessing you've heard of music tapes. Well, back ages ago. Oh, sugar, excuse me. Apologies for that. My door opened. My balcony door opened. Now, programs used to be run off tapes all the time. In fact, I had one of these when I was a kid, and I treated. Unfortunately, it's another console that was lost because of certain reasons. Like I said, personal reasons. This one was found in an attic, and in an attic of a person who was doing it. When I was doing my friend's house clearance, we actually checked in the attic because he'd never really been up there, and I found this poor thing up here. Some of the keys are missing, but let's have a closer look at the back. Now, regardless of the fact of the front stairs, because as you can see, a kid's been and painted on it. It looks like silver paint or maybe silver marker. See along there? The face paint, and unfortunately also the original scratching, if you hear, that is not paint. I don't want to drop this damn thing. That's not paint. Unfortunately, the actual paint thing here has been scratched off. So, no offense, mates. Well, if you're watching this video, who's going to restore this, all I can say is good luck. Now, if we look into the back, now you've got the floppy disk and the printer, which are these big things. Now, if you take a look inside it, it does seem like, get close to the camera, it does seem like from what you can see that the motherboard seems to be intact. The original joystick and AV leads, is that AV? Yeah, the zero 1 lead ports, are in actual intact. So is the monitor and power lead, which is here. Sorry, it's hard to do this when looking through a camera. That's the monitor lead, and that's the power lead. Where the power lead goes. This used to have its own monitor, but this used to have its own monitor, but there was no monitor in the attic when I found this thing. The back is in a lot better condition than the front. The label's being worn a bit. I don't know if you can see that camera. It actually shows up much better on the camera than it does in real life. Barely a scratch onto that one, and there's not much on the front. The sides. The volume rocker and the power switch seems to be intact as well. So there it is. This is an example of what happens when you don't look after your consoles. I mean, this has obviously been given to some kind of child because then it got written on, it's been burnt. It's a sad sight to see a computer like this. So what I would say is if you've got retro consoles, look after them. If they're not in use, I would suggest storing them in cases. Some people put them in glass cases, but then you've got to realise that the exposure to sunlight could warp the plastic over time. If you look up on Google, there's plenty of examples of it. There's one, frankly, bad example of a SNES that is being warped and moulded because it was put into sunshine constantly. So cases is always a good thing for any computer that you're not using. Also think about problems with dust and everything else, because it does interfere with the motherboards. These are old motherboards on these particular things. And this is the Amstrad CPC 646. If you're watching this, all I'm going to say is good luck. If you can restore this baby, I would be happy. I think everyone would be happy if this can actually be restored. Anyway, let's put my camera up a second. So that's me, Christopher Dragon. I hope this has been informative of this video. I'm going to be doing more videos soon. It's just that I'm just waiting for more things to come, more COVID restrictions to come undone, and I'm going to do more videos outside of this flat, because I'm outside this flat. But there we go. Hopefully I'm going to be doing a lot more retro stuff as well, because I do love retro stuff. I love retro consoles. I might be getting SNES soon, or SNES, whichever way you want to put it. And I've also got my lines on getting an original Commodore 64 with all the gubbins. Hopefully. But when I do that, I will put them on the video to show them to you guys, because I do love retro consoles. So I'm going to say thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.